What's good, y'all? Welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're reacting to the luckiest people who survived the impossible part 4, and I already reacted to the previous 3 videos, and if you want to watch that, be on my channel right here. And yeah, without further ado, let's just get straight into it, man. These videos are wild, so yeah, let's get straight into it. It's already selling off bad. Oh, I know what happens here. Bro, like, dude, this person holds on for like, dude, like hours. No, maybe not hours, but this person holds on in the middle of the sky for a very long time. And when he gets close to the ground, like literally almost lands this kite thing. I don't know what you call this, forgive me. But he or she, I think it's a dude, I don't know. But right when the ground is there, the person lets go, but the person dies. Even when it's right close to the ground, it doesn't matter.
This probably,
I don't know if he'll talk about it in this
like
video,
a scene that would appear in your nightmares.
Which is weird. I swear that person died. Even though it's titled Lucky People That Survived the Impossible, I swear that person died. Or perished.
But this terrifying moment was far from a dream for tourist Chris Gursky, who had to cling on for dear life
look at
as
this.
He soared through the skies after a hang gliding instructor forgot to strap him in properly. Yep. And he's not the only one who survived the impossible. But
okay, I don't think he survived though. I swear, maybe I'm wrong, but I swear I've heard that like he didn't survive that.
Circumstances, their final destination.
What the fuck?
Style car accident.
What is this? I mean, both. How did both of these happen? But what the hell is this?
133 days stranded at sea.
Whoa.
30 minutes on the seabed without any oxygen. Stick around as we find out how these incredibly lucky people had their bacon saved when the odds were truly stacked against them.
Oh my gosh.
It's gonna be a real nail biter. Danny Balch.
Okay.
If you're looking for danger, camping out next to an active volcano is one surefire way to find it.
Robin says right now, people that live near volcanoes, what the fuck are y'all doing, bro? You living near an active volcano could never be me, bro. Honestly, no.
1980, Danny J. Balch and
I live in Oregon, in Mount Hood. You know, it's there. I would never live close to Mount Hood, bro. Not like, obviously, like, I live far enough away where if it explodes, I won't die instantly, bro. But there's some people that live near mountains that if it explodes, you're cooked, bro. I'm sorry to say, bro, you're dead. You know, why are you doing that?
Camping in a meadow near Mount St. Helens when they were jolted.
Mount St. Helens, yep, in Washington.
At 8:32 a.m. by an intense rumbling sound. When the pair looked out of the tent window, their worst fears were confirmed. An eruption was heading their way. As they dashed for the tree line, Balch was hit by a blast of heat and a shower of ash, mud, and ice that caked him in grit and pushed him flat to the ground.
How'd he live? No way.
His entire body went from frozen to baked as the extreme heat melted the skin off his fingers. When he came to, Balch called out for Thomas and managed to wade into the river to soothe his burns. As he resumed his search and began
this guy survived,
trees, he suddenly felt a hand on his left shoulder that took him by surprise. When he looked down, he was shocked to see Thomas under a tangle of tree limbs.
What?
Thomas had a broken hip, but Balch was able to pull him up just before the cloud of ash plunged the sky into darkness so that neither man could see just inches in front of them. Miraculously, 2 other campers in the group, Bruce Nelson and Sue Ruff, who had been toasting marshmallows at the time of the explosion, saw the 2 men and helped carry Thomas to the ruins.
Oh my god, dude, this is a legendary story, I'm not gonna lie.
Where they built a makeshift lean-to. Balch then set off with the others to find rescue, and they were eventually spotted at about 6 p.m. by 2 helicopters.
Oh my goodness.
But he didn't forget about Thomas. Balch used a map to show them where his friend was, and the men were airlifted to the hospital to recover. The worst part is that Balch had wanted to go to the beach that day, but was convinced by Thomas to go camping at the volcano. Never give in to peer pressure, guys.
Bro, yeah. That's crazy.
Helen Klaben. The year was 1963, and then 21-year-old Helen Klaben was...
Is this another plane story? Bro, I swear there's a plane story in every single one of these videos, and they're always the craziest one. Because, bro, how will you survive a plane crash when you're 20,000 feet above the air? I can't do it.
On the hunt for adventure. She'd left her hometown of Brooklyn to head for Hong Kong or India, but she had to reach San Francisco first, which meant getting on a flight to Whitehorse, the capital of the Yukon Territory. Klaben was on a budget, so she decided to fly with an amateur pilot, 41-year-old.
Oh, okay. Fucking hell.
Ralph Flores, in his single-engine plane instead. What could go wrong? The pair set off on February 4th, 1963.
I mean, this is definitely more dangerous than driving like a commercial plane. But like, bro.
Not long into the journey, Flores ran into a snowstorm and tried to take the plane above the clouds. When he descended, he hoped to follow landmarks or the path of the Alaska Highway to reach Fort St. John. But instead, he was met with mountains and trees.
Oh,
Before
no.
Klaben could understand what was going on, the plane crashed into
Tell
a
me they
desolate
survived in the woods. This
stretch of wilderness near the Yukon-British Columbia border. The pair miraculously survived. Klaben suffered a broken left arm, and Flores a fractured jaw. But they were now stranded in sub-zero temperatures as low as -42 degrees Celsius.
Oh my
The
goodness.
little food they had on board, a few cans of sardines, tuna, fruit salad, a box of saltine crackers, and some vitamin pills, were rationed within 10 days, forcing them to make soup from melted snow. The pair were able to create a shelter from a piece of tarpaulin and cushions from the plane, while they also fashioned a blanket from the plane's carpet.
Oh
Used
my
gasoline
goodness.
from the fuel tank to light a campfire that would keep them warm.
Why are you fucking smiling, bro? You're in a life or death situation, bro.
at night? Eventually, Flores found a frozen pond and etched an enormous SOS sign with an
Bro, I
arrow
love this animation. I don't think they did this the last 3 videos. This is great.
pointing to their
I
campsite.
just realized
Day
that.
49 of their ordeal, Charles
What?
Hamilton, a pilot flying supplies to a nearby trapper's cabin, spotted the SOS and rescued them. Klaben passed away in
Dude,
2018,
49
age 76,
days.
but
Wow.
the story of her amazing survival will continue to live on in her 1964 book, Hey, I'm Alive. Man, all this talk of danger is enough to make you grateful for your own
That is, dude, surviving a plane crash and then surviving in the fucking wilderness, in the cold wilderness for like 50 days, that's crazy as fuck, bro.
I'm at Julianne Koepcke. If you have a fear of flying, you might
How many people have survived plane crash how many?
want to cover your ears for this one. On Christmas
Bro.
Eve, 1971,
Two of them back to back.
17-year-old Julianne Koepcke was flying over the Peruvian rainforest on Lanza Flight 508 with her mother when things took a turn for the
Oh
worst.
no.
The plane flew into a dark, violent storm which shook the entire cabin before all the lights cut out and the aircraft went into a total nosedive. Koepcke closed her eyes tightly and covered her ears to drown out the noise of passengers screaming and the deep roar of the engines. But
You know, put
suddenly,
on your damn
the alarm
mask.
stopped. The plane had disintegrated about 2 miles above the ground. She was now in free fall, straight strapped to her seat. As the canopy...
You can't tell me she survived this, bro. I don't care if she lands in a tree. I don't care if she lands in a bush. Will you tell me this bitch survived? No, I'm sorry, bro. I've said this 1,000 times for these videos, bro. Some of these must be fake. I'm sorry, bro. Some of these honestly must be fucking fake. I don't care, dude. Where did you read this from, bro? A Reddit post, bitch? Nah, this is insane.
of the jungle
What
spun
are you
towards her.
it disintegrated? And you're telling me that she lived?
Koepcke blacked out just before impact. The next day, she awoke in the rainforest and realized she was totally alone. She was the sole survivor of the crash, but her ordeal still wasn't over yet.
My
She had a
goodness.
broken collarbone and some deep cuts on her legs, but Koepcke was able to walk until she found a stream to follow. After being alone in the wilderness for 10 days, Koepcke found a small path
What did you eat? Did you eat anything? Did you drink anything? I guess maybe you could drink the lake water. Dirty ass water though, probably, right? Fuck.
to a hut with a palm roof. Nearby was an outboard motor from a large boat and a liter of gasoline, which she used to treat a maggot-infested wound on her right arm.
Oh God. Putting gasoline on your wound, that must not be good, bro. Even if there's maggots on there, bro, wouldn't that fuck your shit up? I don't know.
He was awoken to the voices of men outside, who initially thought she was a water goddess from local legend. After
what?
explaining her ordeal in Spanish, the men treated her wounds and took her back to civil.
Wow, she just knows everything, bro. She knows Spanish. She knows how to treat her. Bro, I'm not gonna lie. If my plane crashed in the woods like that, what I survived, bro. Honestly, she did better than me. I want to put gasoline on me. Does that actually help? That's kind of insane.
Civilization where she was reunited
Now I know.
with her father. Koepcke told her amazing story in the 2000 documentary Wings of Hope by director Werner Herzog,
Dude, that is an insane story, bro.
who coincidentally
But I'm sorry, dude. How do you survive falling that far? And at that, the plane disintegrates so it can't break your fall. I don't think that's the right saying, but like, what are we talking about? The trees really broke your fall that much? I guess.
had a seat booked on that very flight before canceling last minute. Danny Pinar. In 1998, Danny Pienaar was a research student studying the habits of white rhinos in the Papini tributary in South Africa. But this once-in-a-lifetime
Is a
opportunity
rhino finna fucking try to get you, bro? Oh, God.
almost ended in tragedy. On one Thursday afternoon that January, Pienaar decided to head out on a tracking expedition without telling his campmates where he was going. As he waded through the waters
I'm
of
sorry,
a
bro.
small
Are you dumb? Okay.
stream, Pienaar saw something long and brown slithering in the nearby reeds.
Pause.
The next thing he knew, Pienaar felt a burning sensation on one side of his leg,
Eel?
just under the knee.
Does that make
After looking
sense?
down and finding 4 bluish
Oh, it's a snake. Yeah, I don't think eels fucking live. Okay.
purple holes and a drop of blood, his worst suspicions were confirmed. He'd just been bitten by a black mamba.
Like, why are you... Oh, my God. Why are you walking somewhere where you can't really see your feet, bro? Like, especially in a lake. You didn't need to walk in a damn lake, bro. Probably, right? You just... Why are you doing that?
Black mamba venom is notoriously fast-acting, as
Oh my
it shuts down the
goodness.
nervous system and paralyzes victims, and without antivenom, its fatality rate is 100%.
Yeah, bro.
Pienaar
Oh my
knew now
goodness.
that his only chance of survival was to make it back to his car and attempt the long trek back to the main town.
Wow.
Despite tying a tourniquet around his leg, the venom was already taking
Yeah,
over
too
his
late,
body
bro.
as tunnel vision set in and his heartbeat
Oh
sped up.
my gosh.
After feverishly making his way back through the
Dude,
wilderness,
it's a black mamba, right? That must be the coolest name for a snake, bro. I'm not gonna lie. That's fucking a sick-ass name. And a sick song, Glass Animals, Black Mambo. Those who know ball know what I'm talking about, bro. That song is insane.
Pienaar reached his car and drove over 100 miles per hour down the road until he saw another car and forced them to stop. By the time they reached the hospital in Nelspruit, over 2 hours after he was bitten,
Bro, oh my
Pienaar
gosh.
could no longer swallow or speak as paralysis set in.
Oh
After
my
several
goodness.
days on
Did
a
he
ventilator,
live, dude? I mean,
Pienaar was
did he
released
live? Oh, fucking obviously, bro.
with nothing but the bite marks and one awesome story to tell.
Wow. That's insane, dude.
Poon Lim.
So
When
like
Chinese
how
native-
how long does it take for you to die when you get bit by a black mamba snake though? Obviously not long, like what, maybe 4 hours probably? I don't know.
Poon Lim took a job as a steward on a British ship named the SS Ben Lomond, which was traveling from Cape Town to Suriname during World War II. He probably never imagined that it'd earn him a world record for the longest time spent adrift
Oh.
at sea. In 1942, a German
my
U-boat came
gosh,
across the SS Ben Lomond 750 miles east of the Amazon, and a pair of torpedoes sank it in 2
Oh.
minutes flat. It happened so fast that most of the crew on board sunk with the vessel. Of the total 55 crew members,
Damn.
Poon Lim would be the only survivor. As the ship sank, Lim managed to grab a life jacket and jump overboard just before the boilers exploded. After
Damn.
drifting aimlessly for about 2 hours,
How did he build that shit? What the fuck?
Lim
Bro,
spotted
this isn't Subnautica. How did he build this shit, bro?
8x8 foot
fuck?
raft and hauled himself onto it. The raft contained some meager survival rations, including tins of dried biscuits, 40 liters of water,
Huh?
a bag of sugar cubes, chocolate.
Wait, did I miss it? How did he get all this shit on the raft?
Lim spotted an 8x8 foot
Wait,
raft.
he spotted a raft. What are we talking about? You spotted a raft. It just spawned in? The fuck are we talking
and
about?
hauled himself onto it. The raft contained some meager survival
He didn't make it. What?
rations, including tins of dried biscuits, 40
Wow.
liters of water, a bag of sugar cubes, chocolate, an electric torch, and a handful of flares.
Wow. Dude, this guy wasn't... Dude, you're telling me he didn't make it and he just saw it in the ocean. Am I reading this wrong? It's literally what it said. He just found a raft in the middle of the ocean. Yeah, he wasn't supposed to die that day, dude.
Food didn't last long, and Lim had to improvise by taking the wire from the flashlight and making a fish hook, which he fixed to the end of some hemp rope as a makeshift line.
But hey, why are you making them smiling, bro? This motherfucker wasn't smiling, bro.
He also fashioned a knife out of the biscuit tin, which he used to kill seabirds, and then
Oh, this guy's a goat, dude.
used the bird meat to catch sharks. As if that wasn't badass enough, Lim did all this without ever learning how to swim properly.
Bro, I wasn't gonna say anything because I've said it a lot on this channel, but I can't swim, right? So you're never gonna catch me on a boat without a life jacket, first off. Second, if that happened to me and the boat was going down, I'm cooked, bro. I can swim, but after I get tired, I can't float, right? So I would just drown and die. What are you talking about? First off, I'll say this. If I had to work on a boat, I would force myself to learn how to swim. He didn't know how to swim properly and he still lived. Yo, this is probably the craziest story so far, I'm not gonna lie.
In fact,
besides the plane, bro, I don't care. No, it doesn't matter what else is in this video or in other future videos or past videos. If you survive a plane crash, that's gonna be tough to beat, bro. I'm not gonna lie.
He tied himself to the raft with rope to make sure he never
I'm sorry, I said that every video, but it's true.
Poon Lim spent a grand total of 133 days at sea until 3 Brazilian fishermen spotted his raft on the 5th of April.
This guy was vibing, bro. This guy was
1943 and rescued him. He'd lost nearly 20 pounds in weight, but was crucially alive.
Wait, this might be the coolest survival story of all time. I'm not gonna lie, dude. This is incredible.
When Poon Lim was asked what he thought of his world record, he simply said, "I hope no one will have to break it." Imagine going through an ordeal like that and still having a sense of humor about it. Do any of you guys have any crazy survival stories to tell?
Wow.
Maybe a relative or a friend of yours had a run-in with fate that needs to be shared with the world. Let me know in the comments below, and I'll get back.
I don't have any, personally. I've said this before. I don't have one. And I really don't know anybody from the top of my head that survived a crazy incident. I'm gonna be honest.
Some of my favorites.
Like this.
Gursky. If you're an adrenaline junkie, hang gliding might be your thing. But you might
Okay, here's the hang gliding thing.
After seeing this.
Yeah, no. No. You would think they would give them like a parachute just in case. You never know. But nope. Hey, this dude's upper body strength though is fucking crazy, bro. Oh, look at how high he is.
You see here clinging desperately to prevent himself from plummeting to his death is Florida Auto Parts manager and photographer Gursky. Back in 2018, Gursky was vacationing in Switzerland when he decided to give hang gliding a go for the first time.
This is his first time? Oh my god.
Almost the last thing he'd get to do. You see, Gursky's instructor forgot one crucial thing: hooking Gursky onto the glider. After taking off from a 4,000-foot mountain ledge, Gursky had to hang on for an agonizing 2 minutes and 14 seconds as the pilot.
2 minutes of upper body. Dude, crazy strength this man has, bro. I'm not gonna lie.
Desperately tried to steer with one hand to get him safely to the ground. Thankfully, the pair were able to make a safe landing, and Gursky walked away.
Okay, he didn't die. Maybe it's another story I'm thinking of, I guess. But dude, I would have swore that I heard that he died from dropping off. You see right there how
safely to the ground.
How close he was to the ground.
Were able to make a safe landing.
Dude, I literally heard that he died. I guess not.
And Gursky walked away with a torn left bicep tendon from hanging on and a fractured wrist from the force of the impact when he hit the floor. Damn. After uploading the jaw-dropping footage of his ordeal online, Gursky said he wasn't angry at the instructor and would even give hang gliding another go. That's one seriously brave.
See, you say brave. I think this is just kind of fucking stupid. I'm sorry, bro. I'm never doing this shit again. If I have a near-death experience, and especially if someone didn't latch the shit, if they didn't fucking hook me on, fuck you. Fuck you.
Dude.
I guess big up to him, bro, for him trying again. But like, you never catch me doing that, bro. That's insane.
Kutu Shaw. Animal attacks are no laughing matter. And if there's one
why does that look kind of real, bro?
The creature you don't want to face off against, it's a 400-pound polar bear. Just ask Kutu Shaw. In September 2003, 46-year-old Shaw was working as a guide on a hunting trip in Kemerut, Canada, when things took a grisly turn. In the early hours of the morning, Shaw and the captain of the Mayukalik Hunters and Trappers organization awoke to find that the ceiling of their tent had been shredded as they slept. At first, it looked like the tent had been filled with snow. But as their bleary eyes adjusted, they realized it wasn't snow. It was the white fur of the perpetrator, which was now looming over the men. The captain immediately started running, and after failing to find a knife in the tent, Shaw joined him. But
bro, what are you talking about? You failed to find a knife. You gonna try to fight a polar bear? You know what? I kind of respect that, bro. But like, there's a time and a place, right? You have time to run. Why the fuck don't you run? You know what I mean? Like, I guess you're trying to find the knife just in case, but like, nah, bro, just run. You know, just fucking run, bro.
Fearsome polar bear was hot on their heels. Shaw was about 4 paces behind the captain, but then the unthinkable happened. He tripped on a small rock.
Oh, of course. Oh my god. I mean, it wouldn't have mattered. The polar bear probably would have caught up anyway, but fucking course he falls over. Bro.
Knew it, the 400-pound beast came down on top of him. The polar bear dragged Shaw towards the ocean, then gouged its claws into his back and sunk its ginormous teeth into his head. Just when it looked like it was game over for Shaw, the group's cook grabbed a gun that belonged to one of the American sport hunters and shot the bear twice, killing the animal. Amazingly, Shaw never lost consciousness. When they finally reached the ER, 3 handfuls of sand were removed from the blood-clotted area around his skull, which may have saved his life by slowing
Oh my god, the sand saved him, bro. Wait, that's crazy.
down the bleeding. After 13 hours of intensive surgery, Shaw walked free with a new nickname in Kimmeroot, the Polar Bear Man.
That's fire.
Chris Lemons.
I couldn't, dude, imagine getting eaten alive by a bear. Like, imagine, bro. That's the most, like, almost helpless situation you can be in, bro. Because what the fuck can you do? Nothing. Literally nothing.
Diving from his ship, the Bibby Topaz, and a diving bell to repair oil rig structures. One fateful day, Chris was lowered 91 meters in a diving bell alongside colleagues Dave Yusa and Duncan Alcock to fix a pipe on the seabed at the Huntington oil field east of Peterhead and Aberdeenshire. But this was almost one trip he didn't return from. During the repair, Chris heard an alarm sounding in dive control, which meant getting out of the structure and back to the diving bell as quickly as possible. What the men didn't know was that the ship was moving away thanks to a failure in the computer which kept it in position. Then disaster struck. Lemons' umbilical cable became snagged on part of the metal structure. This not only tethers divers back to the diving bell and the ship, but also provides them with breathing gas, hot water to keep their suits warm, as well as light and
I was about to say, why don't you give them like a big ass like machete just in case that happens so they cut it out? But it literally gives them air. It gives them air to breathe. I feel like that's kind of a flawed design. Give them like give them a rope that's separate from everything else. Why don't you just give them a breathing tank? All right.
With the 8,000-ton boat pulling in the opposite direction and Lemons basically acting as a human anchor, there was only one outcome. The umbilical cable snapped, plunging him 100 meters down towards the seabed. Without it, Chris only had about 5 minutes of emergency gas stored in a set of normal diving cylinders on his back. He managed to find the structure they'd been working on and climbed on top of it.
I guess maybe why they didn't give him a tank is because how long do like oxygen tanks last? Like a few hours, right? I guess he was going to be down there for a longer period of time than a few hours, maybe. Well, like let's say he's down there for fucking 12 hours. You know, I don't know how long fucking oxygen tanks last for, but I just feel like it's a weird design to have a wire be what pulls you up and what gives you air at the same time. I feel like that's just weird, bro. But whatever.
The bell wasn't there, and he'd already used up about 2 to 3 minutes of gas. The clock was ticking, and Chris accepted his fate and blacked out. His colleagues put in a superhuman effort to locate him.
At least try. Is that real? That's a crazy image, but at least try to swim up. You know what I mean, bro?
But they were expecting to find a body, which is exactly what they thought when they found Chris laying on the floor of the rig. But after being hauled onto the diving bell and given 2 breaths, Lemons sputtered to life.
Oh my
35 minutes after he had turned on his emergency supply of air.
So you're telling me this man survived 30 minutes without air and he's fine? That's fucking crazy, bro.
Nothing to breathe for that long. Chris could have easily suffered brain damage.
That's what I'm saying.
The gas they breathe has a high concentration of oxygen, which saturated his tissues and cells to allow him to survive. In just 3 weeks, this extremely lucky guy was even back working with his team again.
I'm not gonna lie. If that happened to me, I'd take advantage, bro. I would take advantage, bro. I would take longer breaks. I would take a 2 months break. I'm not gonna fucking lie, bro. And what's they gonna fucking say to me? Oh, you gotta go back to work, bro. You damn near killed me, bitch. Fuck you, pay me, and because of the trauma, I'm taking more days off. Fuck you. That's crazy. He probably actually really likes doing that, so that's why he wanted to get back to it. But like, bro, I'm not gonna lie. If that happened to me, bro, fuck you. I'm not gonna lie, bro.
Popping to the toilet to drop off some timber probably isn't at the top of your list of potentially life-threatening situations. But you can
drop off some timber. I've never heard someone say it like that. Okay.
Safe. Just ask Coolidge Winsett. Winsett is a 75-year-old retired janitor and World War II veteran who lives in the very same home he grew up in Southwest Virginia. The problem is the property hadn't changed much over the years, and there was no indoor bathroom. Just a rickety old outhouse Winsett had built himself back.
I feel like you'd build a. Why did he build a bed? Whatever.
In 1950.
Whatever.
That didn't bother old Winsett. He'd been using it for years, and he didn't think twice about paying it a visit one hot afternoon in August 2000.
You know what? It's not that deep. Fair enough.
Winsett sat minding his own business. Literally, the rotting floorboards below finally gave way, dumping the retired veteran into the filthy pit below.
Oh my god, that's gross.
Oh, luckily for him, he was able to stay afloat after landing on the remains of the
Were you telling me he lost his foot in the war, bro?
floorboards, which acted like a makeshift raft. Unfortunately, Winsett had already been partially paralyzed by a stroke and was missing part of one leg, leaving him well and truly stuck.
So
As time ticked by, the 17-year-old mailman, the only regular visitor to Winsett's property, noticed that the mail had started piling up. So he decided to investigate.
How long was he there? No. How long was he trapped in his own shit? How long?
Luckily, he discovered Winsett after following his weakened cries, and the old man was rescued by the fire department after 3 whole days in the pit.
3 days, bro.
Now that's one seriously crappy ordeal.
Ew.
The Robertson family.
On
the 27th of January 1971, the Robertson family from the village of Merebrook in Staffordshire, UK, set off from Falmouth, Cornwall, on a voyage to parts unknown. Retired merchant naval officer Dougal Robertson had purchased a 43-foot wooden schooner called Lucette, which would be perfect for the educational adventure he had planned for his wife Lynn, 18-year-old son Douglas, 17-year-old daughter Anne, and twin sons Neil and Sandy. Both 9.
Okay.
Over the next year and a half, the family sailed across the Atlantic, stopping at different Caribbean ports and taking in amazing sights all over the world.
But
on the 15th of June, 1972, the family encountered a pod of killer whales near the Galapagos Islands, which launched an attack, damaging the boat beyond repair.
Damn!
The family, plus a student hitchhiker they'd picked up named Robin Williams, managed to scramble on board an inflatable lifeboat dinghy. Once stranded, the group got by for 6 days on a few rations like biscuits,
dude, I'm sorry.
bread,
why are you animating them smiling, bro? They're not fucking smiling, bro. Okay, dude.
onions, and fruits, but they eventually resorted to hunting turtles to eat and collecting rainwater to drink. After 16 days, the inflatable raft...
I'm not gonna lie, you know what's weird? Killer whales or orcas, they don't, like, kill people, bro. I think the only actual recorded, like, orca killing is when it was in captivity, and it was just sick of being in captivity, so killed someone, something like that, bro, because they're smart, you know what I mean? So they don't kill people, right? But I've heard that boats are taking their food away, so they're fishing. They would literally, like, knock over boats, because they're just like, why the fuck are you taking our food, bro? Fuck you. And they literally just, like, destroy their boats. So maybe they were fishing, and that's why they destroyed the boat, because orcas usually don't care about humans like that. So that's what I've heard.
So the 6 people crammed onto the 10-foot-long dinghy called the Edna-Mare, taking it in turns to sit in the dry part.
Oh, they're actually smiling. Yeah, and he's like, bro, why are you fucking taking a picture? Can I get the fuck out of here, bro? Like, what are we doing, bro?
Oh, finally, on the 23rd of July, 1972, 38 days into their trip on the Edna-Mare, they were picked up after a Japanese fishing trawler named the Tokomaru 2 spotted their distress fire.
See, I feel like the theming of this video is like people surviving like the woods or the ocean for like long periods of time. Like, this is just a survival video, bro. Like, this is
fancy some family bonding time? Just stick to the Scrabble. Rui Mahamatsu.
Oh, soccer player.
As far as car accidents go, this one has got to be something straight out of a nightmare.
Whoa.
This spine-chilling photograph was taken...
What is this? Did something come out of a car and hit you? Like, what?
And in March 2014, after football player Rui Mahamatsu, who plays for Johannesburg's Orlando Pirates, had a narrow brush with death on the highway.
Locked in, bro.
Mahamatsu had been driving his BMW 3 Series when the car slipped on a wet patch of road, causing him to lose control. Before he knew it, the entire vehicle was impaled by a guardrail that pierced the windscreen and exited through the back, all while miraculously missing the driver himself. Onlookers were shocked to see Mr.
This is almost crazy. Almost. I don't think it is as crazy as the logs. Or there's, I think the second video, like part 2, I think. Similar thing happened, but he like rammed into the back of a log truck and all the logs went into his car. Like, just the passenger side and the driver's side, just boom. But lucky for him, his seat was down. So when he saw the logs coming, he just ducked under all of the logs and he lived. And somehow there's a hole, not a hole, I don't know how to describe this. The seat was down, so he survived practically. That's what it was. But there's also a little gap from where he was in his driver's seat, so like he could get up. It was weird, but anyway, This reminds me of that, but the logs are crazier.
Away from the accident without a single scratch.
No, but this is
on
insane. I'm not
Someone
gonna lie.
up above must really have been looking out for him.
Are those guard rails? Is that what that is?
And if that wasn't quite Final Destination enough for you,
Yeah,
take
literally.
a look at this total nail biter. It's hard to imagine surviving something like this, but one lucky motorist in Western China is living proof that it can be done. In 2015,
Okay,
the
yeah, tell us
unknown
how
was
it
driving to
was done.
Chongqing when he heard a loud bang come from the opposite lane. Before he had time to process what was happening, he spotted a huge circular blade bouncing through the bushes of the central reservation, which then smashed into the front of his vehicle. Highway police said a truck had crashed in the opposite lane, and the saw blade had been thrown off and into the...
Wait, the saw blade was on the truck. Holy fuck.
The driver may have escaped unharmed, but this 50-centimeter gouge is one scratch that isn't going to come off too easy.
Damn!
I bet your blood pressure is pumping now, right? If you're not quite done getting your fix of adrenaline for the day, why not die?
Was an insane video. I'm not gonna lie. I think the craziest one, or I guess my favorite one, was this guy. Bro, 139 days out in the water and you can't even swim, by the way. And you would kill birds, kill fish. This is insane that he lived from that, but I'm not gonna lie. This is like the craziest story. Or my favorite. Because, you know, obviously, surviving a plane crash when the plane disintegrates and you somehow live, that is the craziest one. But this is my favorite one. Holy ish, bro. Who else wants him to keep his voice? So honestly, because in the other videos, I think 3 or was it 2? I don't know. Sometimes they get different people to voice these videos. I honestly really like this guy in particular because his voice is, like this guy said, it's just very calming and I like it. So I hope this guy going forward is the dude that voices all the other videos, which, you know, we'll see. My super serious survivor story. I lasted 10 minutes without eating another Chips Ahoy cookie after. A few years ago, I was a safety patrol on a school bus and was standing in the aisles when the bus almost hit a car. I was flung back 10 to 20 feet, then hit my head on the dashboard. Couldn't breathe for half a minute or so, but I survived, no major. Wow. So you literally flung through the bus and you hit your head on the... That's insane. Anyway though, y'all, that's today's video, and I always say this in every video. If y'all have a survival story y'all want to tell, please put it down in the comments below. I'd love to read it. But yeah, anyway, if you like today's video, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, look at stuff you want to do. Have a good day. Love y'all. And peace.
Every time I call you, baby, never fucking answer, and I just want